Hey everyone, it's Nina.
And Liam, hi.
Wow, this is so formal.
Yeah.
Okay, so we sat down with Diego, who is an MMA fighter and also a drag queen. He's also really renowned in the art world. He's a painter and sculptor, and he also has a persona, a drag persona, Lola Pistola. So she sat down with us, and
Tattoo artist.
Lola Diego Lola can do no wrong. Really wonderful episode. I think you guys are gonna like it because it's violent, but it's heartwarming.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's something.
There's a choke out story in it, for Christ's sake. If that doesn't hook you immediately,
And he chokes out a lady.
yeah.
It's cool as fuck.
What?
If you're into that thing, check out the episode with Lola.
Okay.
Let's get into the episode.
Remember another one of the first things we talked about on this podcast is how this woman came up to me randomly and they called me a charlatan, and I was like really appalled and like awestruck, and I was like, I can't believe that. And damn, dude, it's like the player became the game that it got played, or however the saying goes, if you know what I mean.
I don't know what that's saying.
Sometimes I feel like a person who just learned English. Sometimes Wow, Lola, you look great.
Thank you. Did we start already?
What do you mean, did we start
the first,
already?
Like 5 minutes was just me
Honey,
checking myself out on my phone.
Honey, we started when we attached that GoPro to your center console 2 weeks ago. We've been doing a documentary about you.
It's like the Truman Show with Lola.
Oh man, this is probably paints me as such a like narcissistic child, but I think children are narcissistic. I thought that I was like being followed as a child, like the only person that like kind of existed and like Truman Show style. And when I watched that movie as a kid, I was like, oh yeah, this is a riveting documentary. Like I just really thought I was like, oh yeah, I'm for sure like the only person. And then like when I turn my back, people turn into the aliens. And then when I turn back to them, they turn into the human form. But like I'm gonna catch them one day. I'm gonna turn really quick.
Yeah, no, I could relate to that. I think I felt like, because I was raised Catholic, so I feel like God was testing me. So everything's an experiment. Like people are just there to test my faith most of the time, you know, like.
Were you actually religious, like personally?
Traumatically, yes. Not my first experience, but like the most fucking horrific biblical thing I remember was my mom, not a great influence, used to leave me home alone a lot when I was a kid.
This is in San Diego, right?
No, this is in Mexico. This is when I
Okay.
was still back in Mexico. And some guy knocked on the door and he's like, yeah, I'm selling biblical placemats door to door. And I said probably like the absolute worst thing you could say, which is like, I'm a child that's home alone. I'm not supposed to answer the door.
There's no one here, and I'm barely wearing a thing. You ought to not come in. I didn't lock the door. It's too big. It's too tall. I can't reach it.
The back door's open.
So he's like, does your mom take you to church? And I'm like, sometimes. And he like, well, here, let me show you something. And he slipped me a biblical placemat under the door. And it was like the one about apocalypse. So at like the tender age of like 5 or 6, I'm like, holy shit. He's like, yeah, the world's going to end. You should go to church. And I was like, oh, fuck. And that has pretty much affected every decision I've made ever since. Because you cannot get it out of my mind that I'm not going to live to see the end of the world.
Really?
Yeah.
You really firmly believe that?
Yeah, it's kind of like ingrained in me since, like I said, since a very early age. So I have a very like impulsive nature where I'm just like, fuck it, world's gonna end, might as well.
How do you think it's gonna end?
Oh shit! Like we have so many choices now. It's like, you know, fucking Putin, fucking global warming. It's like, oh my god, AI.
What's your favorite way for it to end?
Fuck. I think I just want AI to take over, and then we'll be like the biblical happening of Terminator 2, you know, like.
Damn, dude.
That's more Hollywood.
That's a great, oh my God, pitch it. Let's pitch it.
But when I was a kid, I was always like terrified of it. And I'm like, bring it. Like, I want to see this shit, you know, like.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably why, and a good segue into your intense risk taking in your life in general, because you've done a lot of cool shit. You were like an Evel Knievel, but like a little more fun because you've been a fighter for most of your life. And then you were couldn't fight anymore because of so many injuries, right? And then but you still fight sometimes, but then you did arm wrestling, which was like really intense as well because you saw like a bunch of arm breaks, which is crazy. But yeah, you just do so much.
How'd you get into fighting?
Well, I was kind of always like a bad kid, you know, like in and out of trouble.
Well,
You know, with that questionable mom that just leaves you at home alone. But you learn a lot of things from the TV, from the television, as people say, television in Mexico. And
you have to say it in the voice like televisión.
Televisión.
Yeah, I like it
Es muy bueno todo el tiempo.
when you watch it. They'll say like now on HBO. They say it like HBO. I love that HBO.
Yeah. I like also, by the way, I'm not trying to knock you guys' production, but I thought like Kraft Mac and Cheese Services was going to be here, and I was going to get like a little breakfast.
Oh my God, wait, do you want a little snack?
No, I brought my Takis. Just in case, but I couldn't get they were all out. I don't know what hood I was in, but those are like the blue heat ones, which is like, I don't know if you're going to get gangbanged in the wrong hood. If you eat those are like the Blue Lives Matter Takis.
Yeah, why are they? Yeah, that is really bizarre.
I don't know. They like banned the like.
They're Doyers
FBC
Takis,
40
dude.
Red and shit. They're like banning everything, you know. Like I got my Mentos and shit. I got my Newports.
These are gonna. The worst thing that Biden ever did is try to take menthol cigarettes away. I'm like, that's a racist policy.
I got the hookup. If anybody needs it, I have the shit delivered to your house by the truckload.
Wait, Newport's got banned?
Yeah, menthol cigarettes are getting banned.
You
Oh man,
smoking here? You can't smoke. All right, that's cool.
Not yet.
I brought my vape.
Oh, what flavor?
You know what? I'm trying to like talk to some people right now. I'm like trying to produce my own shit, so it's like Taki flavored.
That would
Taki
definitely
flavored
sell.
menthol. I think would be like
That sounds disgusting.
the way to go.
Now I've abandoned it. Wait, so how did you get into fighting initially? Give me that.
I don't even smoke. It's just like Lola smokes, but it's like, you know.
This is a very good flavor.
Is it?
Yes.
I'm a connoisseur.
You want to hit?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Quit.
Oh, you quit.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. You're in a relationship and now you think that you're Jesus fucking Christ, huh? Now you're such a
Don't let
good
him
guy.
change you, man. Don't let him change you. You
Yeah,
gotta
dude.
be you. You gotta be
Dude, you know what they say?
know?
Bros before hoes, dude. I'm just kidding. Your girlfriend's a really lovely human being.
I still
He's such a tall drink of water. Just like, look at him
yeah.
sitting over there.
I still smoke cigarettes when I'm drunk though.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's classic.
And I love a spliff. Don't get me wrong. I'm still in the tobacco game.
You're an all-American man.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
How tall are you,
I
Liam,
like
again?
it.
Like 6'3", 6'2".
How tall are
Actually,
you?
Ooh.
Lola, how tall are
in
you?
heels?
Yeah, in heels, how tall are you?
Yeah, 5'10". I used to be 5'9" all the time, and then I started squatting, like heavy weight. After I retired from fighting, I was looking for things to fill the hole, and like everything I do is extreme. Like I don't do anything like I just like squat until I'm about to shit my spine out, and I got up to like squatting 450, and then I went to the doctor, and they're like, "You're 5'8" now," and I'm like, "What?"
Wait, that can happen?
Yeah, you compress the fuck out of your spine.
You can, dude, what the fuck? I didn't
Yeah.
even, so you lost an inch of your height. So you're 5'8" now.
Yeah, and then I started doing yoga. Now I'm like 5'8.5". I got like a little bit of it back.
So you turned your goddamn spinal cord into a fucking accordion, basically. You're like, this shit's a yo-yo.
Yeah, I like passed out deadlifting so many times. Like I would deadlift in my garage and shit.
How many hernias have you had?
Just one, but it hasn't broke all the way through. It's in my jelly roll. Like it's still like in there.
Liam looks so scared.
Huh?
You look
No,
like,
I
you're
just
like,
I didn't know you were lifting like that.
yeah, I mean, like, you're really, really strong. You're very strong
Thank you.
and delicate. Yes.
Wait, so yeah, how did the fighting start / like what was the like organization?
Catalyst.
Yeah.
Motivation.
At that time, I was like really into riding motorcycles and like crashing them mostly.
It's
And,
literally Evil Knievel.
oh, yeah, I've wrecked so many motorcycles. Like I worked at a motorcycle shop, and I would buy them from in San Diego. It was like so many fucking Navy kids, and they all want to look cool on bikes, and then they like fly out from fucking Omaha to their first service, and they spend all their money on a bike, and they wreck it 2 weeks later because they don't know how to ride. I would buy them for like $1,000 from the insurance company after a total them out. So I would like wheelie them out and shit, and just be like,
Did you do tricks?
yeah, all that shit.
So did you like compete?
Yeah, I would like race bikes all the time, and then I was trying to get serious and settle down with my first wife, and she was like, "I think you need a new hobby," because I was like just showing up bleeding places. 'Cause I would like red bikes on the regs.
How did you break a lot of bones or anything?
Fuck yeah! Like like if you look real close, like I covered up with tattoos and shit, but I got like, I would just lose skin all the time. I was just fucking eat shit. But,
Yeah. So you just had like road rash pretty
all
much
the time.
everywhere.
Yeah.
God.
And I'd rather break a bone than that. But so I went over to a friend's house and I saw this documentary about fighting. And it was called Mark Her the Smashing Machine. And it did not depict a good lifestyle. And I was like, that's what I want to do. I was like, that's what I want to do. And I was, at that time, my wife had kind of like wrangled me in and got me back in school. And I had straight A's. I was going to transfer to UC Berkeley for mechanical engineering. I'm not fucking with you. I'm not fucking with you. She went to UC Berkeley. She was like a scientist and shit. So she wanted to move back up to the Bay Area. And I went to community college. I had straight A's in a like honors program.
So at this time, were you in your like early 20s?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like mid-20s.
Okay.
I started pretty late, actually, even for fighting.
Yeah. Holy shit. Okay. And then I'm so interested in all of this because you were with your first wife when you guys met young. I remember you told me something about like just when we hung out.
High school.
In my high school. Okay. Yeah. Because also Diego is a father of three. Father of three.
Lola ain't got no kids, but I'm eyeing her. You know, if we hook up, then I get more money on my EBT card.
You know, that's more talk.
I'm just saying. I got lots of rooms for tattoos. You can put your name right here.
Oh my God. I would love to see just like, you know, in like that kind of like font, that like airbrush t-shirt font of just like Liam.
Right here, Poppy, just so you know it's yours.
On the eyebrow. Yeah, replace
I
your eyebrows.
Spell it Lee and then Yum. Lee Yum.
I'm so scared.
You're like, yes, sounds good.
Yeah, cool, whatever you want.
Oh my God. So tell us how you ripped people apart with how strong you are.
With my man hands. Yeah, I got those too.
Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, that's like, so you started in your mid 20s. You pivoted from chemical engineering. Mechanical engineering to just like, oh, this is really inspiring to me. I mean, which is so cool because it's like you personally, what's really, you're really inspiring, honestly, because you've had like, you know, there's second life, but you've had like third life, fourth life. Like you have changed and you're so dynamic and you're still like pretty young. And so it's just like like you've had so many lives. And I think that's like a really wonderful thing because I think people get really, I mean, I'm in my early 30s and I still am like, this is the way I'm going to be forever. Because you just get, you're so short-sighted with like any projection of the future. But like, it just seems like you have just like, oh, I did this and then this interested me and I went to do this and then I started doing this and then I couldn't do this anymore. So I decided that this was a good thing. So yeah, I kind of like want to explore your just like gestalt. And then, I mean, it's interesting. It's just interesting. What's like the worst injury that you've inflicted on somebody and what's the worst injury that you have gotten inflicted upon yourself?
Wow. Well, I've broken like at least 4 people's arms.
Ooh.
It's
bone out of the skin?
I have this move called the Kimura. Like I didn't invent it or nothing, but it's like my specialty. And for some reason,
show it on Liam. Liam, get up.
He's working with a lot of leverage. He's got some long appendages there.
Yeah,
so
I know. He's got that Slender Man body.
Yeah, but I'm slow. I'm not. I got my head movement is slow. If I'm gonna fight, I'm getting hit a few times. That's for sure.
Me too. I almost don't even have any head movement. It's just like punch me in the head until you get tired, and then I'm gonna wear you down.
Your pain tolerance is like very high, it seems.
Yeah, one time I broke my leg, and my coach called me a pussy, and he goes, "There's no way it's broken, Diego. There's no way." And I walked on it for like 3 days before I went to the hospital. It just kept getting more and more swollen. And my wife at the time was like, I really think you should go get that checked out. And as soon as I walked in, the guy's like, yeah, that's fucking broken. He looked at the x-rays. He's like, yeah.
Wait, what league were you fighting in? Sorry.
I fought for Bellator. I fought in a lot of local leagues.
Yeah.
I fought, I was destined to be in the UFC. Like all my teammates were in the UFC, my coaches, but I detached my retina before like I got my call to the big league.
Oh fuck!
Because I was 155, so 155 is like the most stacked weight class there is, because usually you walk around 175 and there's more humans walking around 175 than any other weight. One time I got a call to be in the UFC at 145, and I turned it down just because I was so excited. I'm like, I'm gonna get my shot at 155. I'm already cutting 20 pounds of water. I was just like, if I cut 10 more pounds, I'm gonna die.
Yeah. Who else was on your team?
Dominic Cruz, Brandon Vera, Phil. Oh my God, I'm so much fucking CTE. Like I don't even remember my best friend's name.
No, I feel like you don't have CTE because
Mr.
you're
Wonderful.
you're not violent. You're such an angel.
Not yet. No.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still early.
Like,
It's
we
like
talk
10
a
in
lot
the
about
morning.
like
I mean,
family
hold up.
annihilators, and I'm like, you don't really seem like one of those.
How old are you now?
43. But no, really, like I haven't been in a street fight in like 20 years, except for, I'm not joking, like a month ago I had to choke out a homeless woman on the street.
Okay, tell us about that.
I was, you know Jackie, right?
Stop smiling.
Well, I want to hear about that.
now he lights up.
Yes,
It's like, you talk about
Jackie-
baby talk, you shut down. Look at this guy.
Oh my
That might be a
God.
red flag.
I know.
To the girlfriend out there, but
Seriously. Well, yes, Jackie is your
my
really
beautiful
amazing,
girlfriend,
beautiful
stylist,
girlfriend.
always, dressed in the
She's-
finest linens.
So hot, and
Thank
she's
you.
so sweet, and she's like funny and a badass. But she's like, yeah, she's great. I'm big fan
I
of
love
your
her.
girlfriend.
But usually she wears all black.
Mm-hmm.
But one day she wore all white. We went to the Target downtown, which is like one of the most horrible Targets you could possibly go to. And we're walking back with the little Target bags, and this lady pops up in my face, like, you know those like shooter games where they have like that, like she just appeared, and I'm like, oh shit, and she's crying. She's like, she hit my baby. She hit my. I'm like, who hit your baby? And I instinctively turn around, and there's a small child with a bloody nose. Like her nose is just fucked up, dude. Like there's blood shooting out of both nostrils. I go, who hit your lady? And she goes, she did. And there's this fucking crackhead running around. And she runs, and I run after her. And she gets there first. She throws a crackhead to the ground. And me just trying to be like diplomatic, like I separate them. And then like I pick up the crackhead with one arm. And I'm like, did you hit that kid? And she's like, ah! And I'm like, yeah, you hit that kid. So like there's a mob forming because I didn't see it. Like we had just walked into it, but a
Yeah.
bunch of people had seen her hit the fucking kid. So everybody's like, fuck this bitch, get her. And I'm like looking at her, I'm like, oh, she's fucking so mentally ill and shit. So everybody starts coming close, and I grab her by like both arms. I go, everybody back up. And she, you know when you hold a baby and they go like,
Yeah, they go like,
can't fucking hold them.
Yeah, they're like
she
a
went
noodle.
limp and shit. Yeah, she went limp dick on me. And I tried to pick her up. When she went down, she pulled her pants down. And then now she's grunting. I'm like, oh shit, she's gonna shit on my leg. Like I thought that was her defense tactic.
Fuck.
So I let go of her and I reach behind her head and I picked her up super gentle, because it's like you know those cops that kill people by accident.
Yeah.
By accident. Like I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
So she weighs 90 pounds. Like I picked her up and I'm holding her, and then she did try to like dig her nails into me. And then instantly I just squeezed a tiny bit and she started to go limp right away. And I go, don't do that. I said, I promise I won't hurt you if you don't do that. And she like put her arms down, and everybody's like gathering in front of me. And then so there's this wall, and I backed up against the wall. There's like 8 people with their phones filming and shit. And I go, holy shit, this is I haven't seen it yet, but it's got to
are
be.
you on Foos Going Wild
It's
yet?
got to be somewhere out there. And out of context, it literally looks like I have a hostage. Because I'm just like my back's to the wall, because I don't want anybody sucker punch me and shit. And everybody's like getting super angry. I'm like, back the fuck up, back the fuck up. Everybody's backing up. And I see one guy, and I'm like, is anybody calling the cops? And one guy's like, oh, yeah, I got you. And I'm like, 8 to 10 minutes maybe, but it felt like a half hour. And I'm fucking holding this lady, and the whole time like that mob is like angry as fuck. A cop rolls up, he gets out, he's on his cell phone. He's just like da 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 da. da. I'm like,
Sorry, I'm playing Candy Crush.
yeah, dude. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, hey man, are you gonna come get this bitch? And he's like, oh yeah, sorry, yeah, I gotta go. I'm at work. And he walks over. He's like, he's like, hey, can you spin around so I can handcuff her? I'm like, I don't fucking work here, dude. And I just like go over. She just started going crazy again. I just picked up my little Target bag and walked off. But Jackie took the kid in the bathroom to clean her up while I was doing all that shit. She fucking came out splattered.
Oh my God.
The one time she wore white.
That's fucking the craziest shit. Have you ever had any other public fights like
did you
that?
end up shitting on you?
Oh yeah.
No. When I let go and I heard her grunting, I picked her up by the neck. She pulled her pants up as she stood up. Luckily.
Oh, so she didn't shit.
Yeah, no, because I was like, fuck, that would have been like game over. I don't know what.
That's a good defense
yeah.
tactic.
That's such a
I
good
consider
defense
myself a
tactic.
pacifist. It was like, and that's like she played her cards.
Ladies, if you're ever getting sexually assaulted or afraid that you might be, just poop.
Yeah, shit yourself.
It might work, and you don't know who you're dealing with, you know, but that would work. But I don't think I can poop if I.
Unless you're in Germany, because I heard they're into that.
Yeah. They're into the scout play.
Somebody, I forget which comedian it is, but they have a really good bit about this. Where it's like, well, if you can poop on command, then you're already like a superhero. So yeah, you know what I mean?
That.
Yeah,
because barfing on command. Because I feel like I can cry. I'm almost there to cry on command. Like almost there. You can cry. You have cried on command. I've seen you do it. I remember because we had this conversation when we were in New York, and I was like, "Do it," and then you did.
Oh shit!
Yeah, when we were at that like the underground jazz club.
Oh, maybe there was just the jazz though. That was like I reached my jazz limit for the night.
There was some motherfucker like wailing on a harmonica. I was like, don't do a harmonica solo. Like I can understand almost every instrument having a solo, but like, and I like harmonica as an accompaniment. Like you know, Bob Dylan. I love Bob Dylan. But this guy was like wailing on a harmonica, and like you know, you ever like watch something or listen to something, and you're like, if I don't like this, it means that I'm not intellectual. So you have to you're like, yes. But I'm like, but he was also a harmonica. I'm like, you're just like a fucking railroad hobo that just found like some rusty little like, I just played some harmonica, you know?
I'll listen to harmonica sometimes if I come home really drunk and I'm like rolling a joint. I'll just go on YouTube and be like, I'm like, and I feel like I'm an old Western man. That's great.
You're like a railroad baron.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Do you have that in your ancestry, like a bunch of railroad hobo?
No railroad.
Be
DNA.
honest. How much boxcar hobo you got in your family tree?
That Irish DNA though, from my little Lola baby.
it's actually Mexican and Irish people are hot. Yeah.
Yes, very true. I think Irish and we'll just
figure it out.
Any mix. Yeah. Oh my God, you should do like junior style, like Schwarzenegger get pregnant. I would love to see a remake of that movie with
like
you.
A buff-ass baby with like barrettes in it.
And like beautiful blue eyes.
Yeah. We do this the swirl. What do they call it?
What was that movie when he got pregnant? Arnold?
It's called Junior.
Junior, that is it. I thought you were just saying Junior. But, yeah. As a fighter that likes to keep my head on the swivel, I feel like Liam might attack me at any time because the hair is just like here.
Yeah, your peripheral view.
You're out of my peripheral. I'm feeling a little uncomfortable with Liam.
I wonder if women, this is such a random thought, but I wonder if like the style that we have, like that women have with having like whether we have big hair or heels, which is like really makes us defenseless because we have like blinders on or like peripheral vision is usually blocked in some way. We're usually wearing some shoes that are just like not conducive to running or fighting at all. I wonder if that's something that is like either subconsciously ingrained into women's fashion and looks in some way in order to keep us kind of like these defenseless little fawns, or if I'm just really overthinking it and I sound like this is a college dorm room freshman year. I'm like, bro, do you ever think about how like society invented rules, dude? So like we don't even have to fucking do them. So fucking think about that. Sometimes I say shit that I'm like, I don't know if that's deep or like the most basic shit anyone's ever
quite
talked
the scholar, I think. One of the smartest things I heard you say is that having a man's like having a Tamagotchi. And I was like, yeah, that is actually very accurate, I think.
Yeah, no, they will. Your man won't leave if you just keep his make sure all the cum is out of his dick. It's kind of like you just want to keep his cum out of his dick, and then just like he's hungry, and then I don't know, just like
a Snickers commercial. Are you having a moment right now? Do you need a Snickers? That's like
yeah. It's usually like when they're when they're having
like,
a moment, you just have to make them come, and then they're like feel so much better. And also like don't go on an anxiety spiral in front of them because they won't help and they'll make it worse. Because if you just like go to them like, I'm really freaking out because of this, they're like, yeah, I mean, you kind of should freak out. That's pretty fucked up. And you're like, what the fuck?
I feel so bad right now because that's like exactly what I do with Jackie. Like she'll come
Men
to me.
do that all the time.
Oh, I don't, and I know, like I've seen it before. Like I know you just want a shoulder to cry on, but my instincts to try to fix everything for you.
Yeah.
She'll be like, oh, everything's terrible at work and these guys talk to me. Blah, blah. I was like, why don't you just beat everybody the fuck up? Why'd you let people talk to you like that? Like, just fucking hit them.
Oh my God.
Like, no, that's not gonna work. I'm like,
yeah, and then you're like, wow, I guess like I'm coming to you with solutions and it seems like you're combating all of them. So like I don't even know what to do with you here. If you just want to be emotional, like I do have shit to do. So
now I'm starting to feel like you did have that dash cam installed.
Yeah, I know. I just am like I'm like a soothsayer. I just can predict. Okay, I wanted to ask you, I do want to ask you the worst injury that you've had, because I know you've had so many, so we can't even go through all of them, but just like, what was the worst one for you? Or like, you could be even emotional of just like, this one sucked because then I couldn't do this, or it changed my life in this way.
Well, the retinal detachment fucked me up for a while.
That's your eyeball, right? So you got socked in the face. How come your eyes are you're not wonky?
I don't know, but don't jinx it. I'm very superstitious.
I would assume you would look like
is it wonky now?
No, you have like perfect symmetrical eyes. I would assume you look like a chameleon if you got your, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I drop my head low, they'll start to split because I have a rubber band holding this eye together.
Oh shit!
So the rubber band locks up on the top of the bridge of the eye, and it won't let it fully go up. So like my eyes, if I look up, it'll track, and this one will get stuck, and this one will keep going up like this. And then I'll have crazy double vision.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's the worst one.
That's the worst. Yeah.
Was it one incident, or is it just like prolonged?
Honestly, I think I always had shitty retinas from the beginning, because you get your retinas checked out before, like, every 6 months or so. You know, not every fight, but every 6 months you renew your license. And I get my fighter's license renewed, and they'd always be like, "Oh, you have a little tear," which is different than like a detachment, you know. But they would always fix them, and
It's a fighter's license. In order to have that, is that just require very intensive physical?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
It's mostly a physical. Like there's some paperwork you fill out, but it's pretty pretty basic. But yeah, so it didn't even happen in a fight. It just goes to show like how dangerous like training is, because it happened sparring, preparing for a fight with the big gloves and headgear.
Wow.
And I had a friend of mine who was in the UFC at the time, and an uppercut. He threw an uppercut, and it's like one of the hardest punches to see. And I remember just like seeing it right here, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And it went right in my fucking eyeball, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" And I was blind in the eye like immediately for like at least an hour, but I didn't tell anybody because that's like kind of like my MO.
Yeah, it seems like that's a theme in your life.
Even more so than other fighters, I think. Like just,
yeah.
So like I tried to walk it off, and I had the vision came back, but I had this flashing light. It was like somebody was shining a light, and it was popping like every couple minutes. And so I called the doctor, and he was like, "Oh," he's like, "I think you should come in." And I was like, "I'm really busy. Maybe next week." And then over the weekend, the light had gone from like every couple hours to like 3 times a minute. It was like,
oh fuck.
And so I walked into the doctor.
Your eyes, like your check engine light is going off. It's like, bro, take care of this.
Yeah, it's like when you need to put oil in shit.
Yeah,
like there must be a second light that comes on that says, "Hey, it's really critical now." Hey, now it's really bad. Like I was expecting a second gaslight to be like, "Hey, now you should." But yeah, I went to the doctor, and like I knew it was bad because as soon as I walked into the retina specialist, I was the only person under 60.
Oh yeah.
And like when you get old, like I guess your retinas just go bad, and you're just fucking old and go blind for no reason. And
something to look forward to.
yeah, I was just like, "Fuck, this is bad." And as soon as he looked in my eye, I'll never forget the exact words. He goes, "Ah, yeah." He goes, "I got some bad news. You fucking give it to me straight, doc." He goes, "Yeah, if you don't have surgery tomorrow, 100% chance you go blind in that eye."
Damn.
And I was like, "Oh, well, let me see. What am I doing tomorrow?"
You're like,
yeah, why don't we schedule that?
Damn, it's like, bro, 100% chance you don't even believe in God?
Yeah, dude, I was like, "That's a miracle."
Yeah,
like,
he's like, no.
Did you ever hear about the Michael Bisping stories where he would memorize the eye test before going in because he was literally really?
Dude, I've been blind for so long. That's how I get my I shouldn't be saying this, but my driver's license, dude. Oh.
What, do you have Jackie go in and like take a photo of it, and then she's like, and you're like in a headset, it's like, it's EACBB2. They're like, 2? Yeah, they just throw a number in there. Just to fuck with you.
Like 7? No. But it's I memorized the traditional one, which is like ETOZLPED You know, like I have that one down, but like sometimes you'll go in there, throw you a curveball.
I thought there would be randomized like Rorschach ink blot tests or something like that. It's weird that there even has a template for something that is supposed to be truly just like your vision.
Well, that just goes to show how organized we are. But at the DMV, it is. At the DMV, they just have random fucking lines.
Yeah.
And then you stand fucking so far away, and I always go, I don't know how I find out, but there's another test at the DMV. It's a viewfinder. And so they have this viewfinder.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
And it's a white square with a black box on one corner and you say top, right, bottom, left, and they keep switching it, right? You do it with both eyes, and then you do it with, they close one and then they close the other. And so they close the bad eye and I do it, and then they close the good eye, and then I just go like this. Like I literally like just put my fucking eye in the hole, and nobody has ever said anything.
You know why? Because they work at the DMV, so they're like, listen, I don't get paid enough, and I get pretty much abused emotionally every day at work. I don't care. If anything, they want to breed probably drivers that will be more dangerous. You know? That's like, they're more motivated to do that. Like that's my long-term plan, is to make society collapse from the inside of working in the DMV.
So I no longer have to show up to work.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's a long game there.
They're trying to get the self-car driving, you know. Like,
yes. Man, I can't, that's such a fucking crazy, yeah, that's a crazy interview. So what got you into doing drag? Because we talked a little bit about this, but yeah, I really want you to, because you've done so much, and you got into drag a little bit later, but maybe not, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I did grow up like hella feminine, believe it or not, because I was raised by a single mom, and she had a lot of gay friends, and nobody was like, when I was being raised, oddly enough, nobody was ever like, oh, that's gonna make that kid gay, or which is the real common thing in Mexico, you know? And so I always just kind of felt real natural, and like love Whitney Houston, love Madonna, like singing that shit at home, you know? And I took a class in emotional intelligence, where I met Jackie. And
that's how you met he met his girlfriend. Diego met his girlfriend Jackie in a seminar. Basically, it was like an emotional intelligence like seminar.
It's like a
class,
self-help
class.
Yeah.
It's like so great. We could talk about that later too, because I think that's really beautiful. It's a beautiful story. But go ahead. Sorry. So
I was challenged to do something that was like outside of my comfort zone. And so I say this every time, like to this day, I don't know why. They were like, what could you do? Because like I was already an artist. I was already transitioning from being a fighter to being a full-time artist. And I have no idea why, but I just opened my mouth and I was like, what if I do a drag show? And everybody's like, oh my God. Because a lot of it's about vulnerability, you know?
Yeah.
It's emotional intelligence is a lot about being accessing vulnerability, especially as a male, right? Because it's like, we're always taught like, especially me, don't show weakness. I'll fucking walk on a broken leg for 3 days. And,
I mean, you have a tattoo on your face that's a stoic.
Yeah.
That's how men are.
It's a little covered up right
now.
Yeah,
it is covered
Nina
up.
knows this from reference.
Yes, just reference. But I mean, the number one word I always used to describe a man usually, or just like a masculine feature, is stoicism. Yeah, very stoic.
What type of art were you doing?
I do. I paint. I'm into like assemblage sculpture now, and getting into like little screenwriting now.
Cool. We have a piece actually in me and Charlie's apartment. We have a painting of Diego's that you saw. Probably I'll show you later, but it's like a large white wooden board with like a face on it. It's like very abstract. That's really beautiful. But yeah, and you do a lot of sculpture as well.
Yeah, I just recently more got into that, and it's just at that, you know how I figured that out at that party where I had the Lola's birthday party, and I was like,
you did the you had an art show in New York in the Lower East Side.
Oh no, this was before that. It was at the one where you bought the painting with Charlie.
Oh yes, that was at your studio in downtown LA. Yeah. Yes, that was a great show.
For Halloween one year, I dressed up as Buffalo Bill. And I made the costume, like I hand wove the robe and everything, and I put it up on a mannequin, and I painted all my tattoos on the mannequin. And so like an art dealer from New York, who's like a good friend now, saw it, and he's like, hey, I really like that shit for you. Like if you get more into that, like I think we can get some stuff like that into some galleries. And that's how I got the show in Manhattan.
Yes, and I remember I met your art dealer friend. Yeah. And that show was great.
At the jazz club. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that show was great. Yeah, you should really check out
Alex Burns, baby.
You should really check out his work, because like your art is really, that's what's so fascinating about you. It's because you're like been very successful at like pretty much everything you've touched, which is like really lucky. I mean, it's great. But I don't want to lose sight of, so the drag show, the emotional intelligence course was like the catalyst for you to be like, oh, I'm going to do this, and then what happened?
So I think then I did it, and I got a lot of positive feedback from people. I think it was already doing really good, but especially when COVID hit, like people were just bored at home, and people needed content. And somebody saw a picture of me dressed in drag, and they worked for Vice, and so they called me up and they're like, "Hey, would you be interested in doing an interview?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course I would." And at first they were like, "Well, I don't think I can't promise you anything. I'm from Vice Germany." So he's like, I don't know if Vice USA will ever see the light of day of it or anything like that. And I'll go, I've sold a couple paintings in Denmark, so I have a couple clients in Europe. Anything's good,
Mm-hmm.
So the first article came out in German. And it's real funny because we did the interview in English. He translated it to German. But for some reason, they took that article and just translated it, like, copy pasted it back to English. So when you read it,
it's like so bizarrely.
When you
written.
read it, it's a little wonky and shit.
Yeah.
But,
it's like written by AI. It's just
yeah.
like
it still got picked up, and it went to like all these different countries. And like I was looking at my Instagram, and then I have followers from like Paris and from like the United Arab Emirates and like Emirates, and like all this shit kept popping off, and like that's kind of how like I got here to LA.
Yeah. Oh, so then that was like, you're like, okay, this is really doing something for me. I want it. So you moved, so you were still in San Diego at that point?
Yeah.
Wow. So this was 3 years ago?
3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Yeah. A little more than 3 years, probably.
Why the name Lola Pistola?
I credit I like to say former wife. I feel like ex-wife has too many negative connotations.
Because you guys are still close, obviously. She's the mother of your children, yeah.
But we're on super good terms. We're like really great friends.
Wonderful.
And we wanted to name my first daughter Lola, but we went with Bella.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually just barely, I'm going to get off track, but I barely told my daughter that I named her after my favorite porn star. And she was like, and it just kind of like came out. I'm like, you're old enough now. I just thought it was hilarious.
How old is she?
She's 17.
Okay.
And she didn't know. And I forgot we were somewhere, and I just like said, oh, we were at Disneyland. And I was on mushrooms. she said something. And I go, yeah, well, I named you after, Belladonna. And she was like, what? Who's that? And I was like, oh, it's a porn star, but your mom, like we changed it a little because she thought it was, I don't know. But
I am okay. Wow. Did your children know you were on mushrooms?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did they take any?
No. I'm a responsible
when I was 17,
parent.
I took mushrooms.
I'm a responsible parent.
Yeah,
man.
you are.
I want them
know?
to.
No.
I actually told them like the human brain's not done developing until you're 25.
I know. That's why I am a charlatan. Because that's why I'm like, oh, I did the most amount of drugs as a teenager and like in my early 20s.
Give it up.
Yay. We're like, yeah. Yes, Mr. Zimmer's drugs get fading. Where are we gonna?
I did tell him though, I hope we all get back together when everybody's 25 here at Disneyland, and then we do mushrooms together
As a family?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I think that there should be more psychedelic trips as families.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know.
Really?
I don't know.
Okay, wow. Now you sound like Mitch McConnell. People are like, well, people say I'm Tucker Carlson. I'm like, well, stop talking like him.
I do mushrooms with my dad and brother. No problem. I've done mushrooms with my brother, but like.
And your dad?
Yeah, my dad.
That's sick.
No, I haven't done it with him, but I would.
And he's down.
Yeah,
you smoke weed with your brother and your dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, and he wouldn't care. He's down. But like my mom, my sister. Fuck no. Like, no, dude. That would be.
I thought that about my mom. Like, because my mother, like, compared. That's good. I compared. I know, right? Do you need help with this?
Maybe. I'm so big.
I know, seriously.
Fat guy, little cold.
I compared. My mother would compare weed to heroin when I was growing up. And, like, because she's Iranian and also, like, weed was just not normal in Iran, and like when she came to the US it was, but she just seemed like they're all burnouts, and I'm like, okay. So when I was a teenager I was like, oh, my mother would never smoke weed. And then the older I got, my mom now, and I think it's really like not because she's such a fucking bootlicker, when it became legal when it just became legal, she was like, oh, okay. And I'm like, hey, sorry sheeple out there, but just because it's legal doesn't mean it's right, bro. Okay, Nazi Germany was technically legal, bro. Okay, I'm back in the dorm room. Back if I could freshman year dorm room. But I never imagined smoking weed with my mom because we just did like a few years ago. I think that's when it started, maybe like 5 years ago. And now she's just like super open to it, and like we'll do like I'll give her like edibles and stuff like that. But like, so I don't know, just never say never.
Yeah, I'm saying never to doing shrooms though with my mom.
I would never want to do psychedelics with my mom, but okay, this is bizarre. My mom would not do psychedelics. She wouldn't do that. No judgment, whatever. Don't do anything you don't want to do. But my dad, I know, has done psychedelics. I know smokes weed. I found his weed when I was like 14. And I don't think he would we've never smoked weed together. I don't think he would do psychedelics with me. But I think he would handle his shit really well. Like, I think if my dad did psychedelics, he like wouldn't like turn into like.
No, he's a veteran of the game.
Yeah. I guess, but I'm more of a veteran. I feel like I'm a decorated. He's a soldier.
I don't know.
I'm an admiral.
You come home with like
I don't know.
and shit. You're like,
Why?
I bet you he's the 5-star general on this shit.
Is it because you're like, Nina, he wasn't around. He probably was doing cool shit like doing drugs.
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah, he's probably having a great time.
He didn't want to hang out with your boring ass 8-year-old.
He was having a good time in the 70s.
Oh my god.
Wait, can we talk about some of the tattoos we were talking about before?
oh yeah.
Like the
Oh my god. I'm sorry. There's listeners to this podcast, but if you're listening, go to our YouTube and watch this, because I just saw, I'm sorry, you have a R.I.P. Mr. Hands tattoo.
Oh, one of my.
You know the
favorites.
horse that fucked the guy to death?
well, I guess I'd know, but
Haven't?
well, I know the story.
We've talked about horse fucking on this show a lot.
Seen the footage?
No,
Oh, you're missing out.
I don't know if
I
can
have not
handle
seen the
that.
footage either, but I
Oh,
watched the
you're-
documentary because I
I
am
watched the documentary too.
intelligent. Yes.
I
I'm
will.
intellectual.
I'll
You
watch
know
the
what's
doc.
funny? This was back
Zoo.
when-
It's called Zoo.
Yeah, I extremely recommend it.
It's very good. It's actually done so well. It's very like classy, which is very bizarre because the content is literally about zoophilia.
A guy getting fucked to death by a horse.
Yes, and their community.
Oh,
Like, because there's a community of them, and everybody is like, it's all like archival footage, because none of the people that are speaking in the documentary wanted to be shown on camera, obviously. So you hear them being like, well, there's just something so majestic about a horse, and they're out there, and people don't know that it could be very erotic. Barns can be very erotic.
what happened? What happened to you as a kid?
I think there's wires that get crossed in your brain, and I think that is like the reason why pedophilia exists, and like why serial killers exist, and why like people that want to fuck animals exist. I think it's really just like a neurological defect. I
Yeah.
think that there's some crossing of wires that are just not supposed to go where they go, and then they're like, I don't know what it is, but I can only come if you rub peanut butter on the soles of my shoes. That's
I get
just
that.
it.
That makes sense.
Sorry, I didn't mean to out you. I didn't mean to dox you. Like,
A little bit less of a wire crossing there. Like you're okay. Like,
yeah, you're like, well, no, I see that.
If you like peanut butter,
Can I ask?
I got the jelly.
Can I ask you what your first tattoo ever was?
Oh shit! My first tattoo was like a 3-hour back piece in a kitchen when I was 15 years old.
Oh,
What
shit.
is it?
It's a tribal back when Red Hot Chili, and I heard you talk shit about Red Hot Chili Peppers too, by the way.
Are you a fucking chili head?
Not to that extent, but I mean, I was like a kid in the 90s, like if you had a tribal, you were fucking
I'm
cool.
sorry, dude. I don't want to fucking. I know so many people are gonna come for me, but Anthony Kiedis wrote a song where the lyrics are, a ring a ding dong, ding a ding ding dong, ding a ding dong, ding dong. And they were like, God, this guy is an artist. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
They're a very overrated band. They're great, but
They have a diverse catalog, my friend, and they have their Armor Ding-a-ling-a-ling, and they also have Under the Bridge Downtown. That's a fucking heartfelt song right there.
true.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine.
What do you want the man to do? He was raised by one of the extras from Lethal Weapon 1. Do you remember, like, at the
Why do
very
you see? No, you're a huge chili head because you know the genesis of fucking of Anthony Kiedis. You're like, listen, his father, Anthony Senior, Anthony Kiedis Senior. Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay, wait. What did you say? What were you gonna say?
He was an extra, but you see him and he's like, oh yeah, that dude does dope. And he was like, yeah, my dad would take me to Hollywood parties and we'd be doing coke. And he was like 13, man.
A real Tatum O'Neal situation going on. I had like so many. Oh wow, what are you watching?
What's up? This clip popped up on my thing.
Wow, guess we're not interesting enough. She's like, sorry, I'm listening to another podcast.
I'll just take my horse fucking stories.
She goes, I'm actually
on my Instagram.
sorry, I'm just listening to Joe Rogan in these headphones right now.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to correlate it with you guys talking, and I don't know who's Joe, but one of you are.
She's like doing some new shit where it's like podcast mashups and shit.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
overlap two of them.
Yeah, we're artists here. Oh god damn, what the hell was I gonna say?
Wait.
Fetus.
Well, we can go so many ways.
I know.
I a little bit want to go
Just-
back to the horse fucking real quick.
I
Yeah,
know.
let's go
I
back
want to
right
go back
into
to
it.
horse fucking, but just to wrap up the chili peppers, Anthony Kiedis, okay, Flea is where it's at, and that's why the only thing, they're fine. So many people like them, whatever. They go to their concerts and they fucking cry and shit. You can have your thing. Horse fucking. Go for it.
Horse fucking. Okay. Well, first of all, the tattoo. My son just turned 15. And I was like sitting next to him and shit. And I was looking at him in the eye. And I go, God damn it, man. By the time I was your age, I had a 3-hour back piece. Like, I picture him. Like, he doesn't even like to go on roller coasters, you know? Like, I'm like trying to imagine him getting a 3-hour back piece in a dirty kitchen and shit. I was just like.
Did it warp at all though? Because you're 15, right? You grew more. I think.
It was fucked from the get-go, bro. Like, it didn't look good. It didn't look good back then. The shit. It was like,
Like, you ever seen That's My Boy when he gets the Backstreet Boys when he's 8 on his back, and then when he's older, their heads are all huge. It's so
That's
funny.
hilarious.
Yeah, so funny.
that does sound hilarious.
Yeah.
That sounds like an experiment we need to try.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's like a shrinky dink.
Yeah.
Like it just like
Yeah.
expands. Oh my god. So that was your first tattoo because you wanted to look like hard as a teenage
Yeah, of
boy.
course, you know?
Yep, there you go.
You know, like be cool. I was the coolest kid in school, man. I mean, like you walk in with you go to fucking PE class and you take your fucking shirt off. You're 15. You have a fucking back piece that's like this big and shit. People notice, you know, like, oh shit.
I got my first tattoo when I was also 15 and it was on my ankle and I got it done in a dirty garage in Anaheim by a pill dealer who was wearing his hat like Fred Durst style where it's like just covering the eyebrows where he's like, you guys want some perks? So, just tattoos? You sure? I'll give you a deal on some. It might hurt. Okay, sure. It's like they thought the butthole mouth. They just like talk like this. They're like, no, it's cool. No. I mean, like, I don't got weed, but I got resin. You could take a hit right before I give you the tattoo. Okay. But no, I got a small tattoo on my ankle, friendship tattoo with my friend. And I had covered it with a Band-Aid when I would be at home with my mom. So she never saw it. She didn't see it until I was like literally 18 or 19 years old. I hid it like successfully for 3-4 years. And I got that when I was 15 and I felt like, I think I legitimately, when I was in high school, would like do shit like it was on this ankle. I think I would be like awkwardly, I was like, look at my tattoo. I wanted everyone to know I had a tattoo because I felt so cool. Okay, what's...
Unabomber.
Yeah.
When did you get that?
The Unabomber, man. I'm really bad with dates. But I've had it for a while. This guy who was, I guess, friends with John Waters came up to me once. I was at like a zine convention. You know, those are like homemade comic books and shit. Mm-hmm. And he goes, "Excuse me, sir, can I talk to you about one of your tattoos?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, man." And he goes, "Why'd you get that Unabomber tattoo?" I go, "Well, you know, I'm not like saying I agree with blowing people up, you know, but I did like, you know, some of the shit in the manifesto, and I don't know, it was just so iconic. You know, when I was a kid, I would go to the post office and there would be a fucking poster of the Unabomber there. You know, like you would see that shit and be like, holy shit. It was just such an iconic face. I thought it was really cool. But
and Ted Kaczynski, who it was a very brilliant man. He was, I mean, he went crazy, but you know, he went literally postal. But you know, his like manifesto, it's written. I mean, Ted Kaczynski was also, you know, he was experimented. He went to Harvard, and then he was also experimented on by what's it called?
The MK Ultra.
MK
CIA
Ultra.
stuff.
Yeah. And so he was like given acid in like one of these experiments, and it's just crazy that he's kind of like a product of like, you know, the dark side of the CIA, and you you know, the not the OTO, but the
Because
yeah,
he was a
it's crazy.
child, and you know, like he was there, like with grown ass men doing experiments on him. Where they would try to like break his will and shit. You saw that documentary then, right? Or
I did
you?
not.
Oh, it's
No.
so good. The like 4-part
you've seen
documentary.
it?
Yeah.
It's so fucking.
When he was
good.
born, something happened, and they isolated him from his mom and put him in like a little glass thing for a month.
No.
For
Yeah.
a month, he wasn't touched as a newborn baby.
Oh, that's like, do you know about that like crazy experiment that like Alexander the Great did?
No.
This is alleged, but like, because it's such ancient history, but like allegedly he wanted to make super like warriors. And so he would say, okay, well, if we take breed basically human beings to be soldiers, so take them away from their parents and then like make them tough. So they took them away from like had these mothers, you know, give birth and then isolated these babies and they all died. They all died in captivity because you cannot have babies in captivity and not be touched. It's like, it was, I mean, this is like it's like an alleged thing because it's like, again, but I mean, I think that there's something to be said about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and people have definitely experimented with that. But yeah, they said as soon as he came back, he was like not normal.
That's so fucked up. What is this documentary called? Or was it on?
It's on Netflix.
Okay, I gotta
so,
watch
yeah.
it.
Probably it's just
The Unabomber Diaries or something? I think
Probably.
it's like, it might suggest
There's
it.
also
Sounds like the
What?
Wimpy Kid Diaries or something.
Yeah, yeah.
The Unabomber Diaries.
Yeah, the
like,
Unabomber Diaries.
Don't be mistaken.
By Judy
it's almost the same
Bloom.
thing. The Wimpy Kid, you know,
Yeah.
like fucking grows up and blows people up.
Yeah.
It's like,
There's a show about the investigation. It's not a documentary. It's just, you know, theatrical, but it's so fucking sick. And I found about this stuff like a year ago. I had no idea about the Unabomber until like a year ago.
Yeah.
And then I was, holy shit, this happened for a while. This is fucking
Yeah. It's kind of crazy that there has been like, I don't know if, you know, all of the spree killings and you know, shootings and all of these things have either been like overinflated or under like reported or over reported, because it's kind of hard to tell, because there was also those Tylenol deaths too, where like somebody, remember in like this is before I was born, but I just like knew about it in like the late 80s or early 90s. They would somebody like broke into a drugstore and then literally put cyanide in like a bunch of Tylenol bottles, and all these people from like around the country like just died, and because they were poisoned. And like, I just don't know, like there was a lot of like grassroots terrorism, you know, you had the Oklahoma City bombing and all this shit. So
that's when they invented like the safety seals and shit.
yeah, that's literally what made them invade. That's like so crazy that like you would just go into a store, you could just open. I'm like, bro, I would never buy Advil. I would just I would go in the store and be like, just need 2 of these, boom. Then close it back up. You think about a fucking, now you got to puncture a whole thing, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Favorite tattoo?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I need to ask about the NHL, but it says HNL one.
Oh, that was like, you know,
What does
Key
that
and
mean?
Peele when they were on MadTV. I think it was a Key, and he had a skit called Ho Another Level.
Oh my god!
All the time.
Wait, were you into like the Mad TV era?
Fuck yeah.
Okay, I used to do a really good Miss Swan impression, and I used to,
which is racist.
which by the way, yeah. So I was like YouTube famous for doing a Miss Swan impression, but I had to delete it because I was like, if I become famous one day, I will get canceled.
Well, because Alex Bornstein, if you can tell by her last name, is not Asian.
I'll have to do it for you after the episode.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. Jackie does a great. What's her name? Stewart's mom, is it Lorraine?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That was so good.
I'll do the Stewart for her, and sometimes we're playing in bed, and she's like,
Whoa, playing
you're
in-
gonna get your cuckoo on it. And I'm like,
Oh, I missed that stuff. That was the best type of humor. Nobody cared.
All me and my friends did was Coach Hines impressions. Just walk around a little Catholic school in Massachusetts, Yamanashi, just all day.
Oh my God. Oh, is that Will Sasso? He was so funny on that
Oh my
show.
God.
That was Keegan again, but that Will Sasso was so fucking funny
He
on the
is
show.
his
so
fucking
funny.
Arnold impersonation. Oh my God, I still die over it. And shit.
He was so
Dude.
good. Wait, so what's your favorite tattoo?
Fuck, man, I don't.
They're really well done.
I think. Well, I did a lot of them myself.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, like a lot of this arm is done by me. This is all done by me.
Like you drew them or you
I
tattooed?
I tat him. I did.
Can I
him.
ask, like, I'm always curious about like this whole neck piece. Like, did you just want that, or is it like, does it have like some sort of, like, I'm curious when I see like just
Like a
really big,
cover-up.
dark
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. What is that for?
it's funny enough. I was watching. I think is it 21 Pilots or some shit with my kids. And the dude comes out on stage and like his neck's all black. And I was like, holy shit. I was like, that's the most gangster ass shit I've seen in my life.
That band is not gangster at all. They like make music for 10-year-olds,
I know.
literally.
I know, because my kids were 10 years old. But they're like, no, Dad, it's makeup or something. I'm like, oh, fuck, sick. Nobody's done it yet. So I was like, I'm going to do it.
Do you like it because it looks like you have like a floating head?
No, I actually hate that about that. I don't know. Like, I never think things through if that has like at all popped in anybody's head yet, but it's like I get tattoos, like don't even think about it, and then I'm like, not that I regret it, but then
Yeah, do you have any that you regret?
No, I love all my tattoos. Sometimes I just wish they were a little bit over here, more there, so I could put other tattoos or put other tattoos on top of them. I just want tattoos on top of tattoos.
What's the latest one that you got?
Oh shit! I think it's this young anime person that has a champagne bottle stuck in their pussy.
Oh my god. Okay.
I don't know where I'm going.
Do you know about that Mötley Crüe story?
Which one?
The champagne bottle in someone's pussy?
Oh, I think I heard
There's
something.
a woman who was because of Mötley Crüe. I've talked to you about this. They have the best behind the music. I want to plug that. It's really good. And Mötley Crüe, they have this crazy story where this girl who's a fan, because they got fucked by so many, women all the time. And she came backstage, she rushed backstage, was like, I want to sleep with you and your whole band. Please, I want to sleep with you guys. I think Tommy Lee is telling the story. And he's like, oh, okay. He's a champagne bottle in his hand. And he goes, all right, what I want you to do is I want you to get fully naked. And I want you to squat down here on the ground. This is backstage and presumably a huge venue. And I want you to stick this champagne bottle up your pussy, like the neck of the bottle. And I want you to squat here until we come back, which is horrendously abusive and insane. And I can't believe, talk about cancel culture. All of these, hair metal bands in the 80s, I'm like, how did they not? And then literally Tommy Lee's telling this story and he's like, and then I plumb forgot. And, we came back 2 hours later. She was still there. So anyway, we all fucked her. So I'm sure she was elated. Anyway, she's probably dead now. I feel like
she's
people like that.
Gotta be dead.
Yeah.
Gotta.
I hope. But that reminds me of your tattoo, the champagne bottle and a pussy.
Yeah.
That's the connection I guess I made. That's what tattoos are great.
It's like a natural jump. It wasn't very abstract. I see why.
Yeah. We have a lot of, your tattoos are great. I want to explore more, but we do have to go soon. Is there any questions you have that I haven't touched upon or
my number?
Yeah.
Anything?
Yeah.
Not exactly my type, but we could. Yeah, I'd like your number to be friends, man. Hang out.
We can work it out.
Wow, you just got friend zoned. It's really sad.
Not the first time. Yeah. When I was talking about high school with the tattoo, I wasn't getting laid.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I guess the girls weren't Pepper fans either.
Oh my God. Wow.
It's more like when you're really buff, it's like dudes that come up to you. It's never the chicks that are like, oh my God, he's so fucking hot. It's like, dudes, hey bro, what's your
You on trend?
What's your
you natty?
Yeah,
what's up?
Yeah, how many times? What's your rotation?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't really like really muscular guys because I don't want to fucking ice sculpture. That's what it seems like. It'd just be like a hard series of shapes.
Too. This is I blew my knee out 2 months ago. I haven't been working out, but
I love the hot dog.
Thank you. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I just like cartoon food a lot. That's really good.
My tits all in my face.
Yeah, Jesus. Well, Diego, do you have any questions for us, or do you have anything else you want to say before we plug you and wrap you?
Just everybody be kind, respect other people, and I think that's a great way to live,
That's a beautiful sentiment.
Yeah, I don't like the word tolerance. When I was a kid, I felt like everybody taught tolerance and shit. That's a shitty word. It's like you tolerate somebody.
Yeah, I actually have always thought about that too with that word, because it's like, I guess I'll tolerate you, which doesn't seem like acceptance is such a far cry from tolerance. It's such a different thing.
It's actually like the bare minimum to tolerate somebody.
Yeah, it's like, I guess I won't eviscerate you or kill you, so I'll tolerate you.
Yeah, I think I just want to say you know, some people grew up different than you and just like are living a completely different life that you can't even fathom, and then you go and judge them, you know? So it's like, just, you know, respect that people are having a different experience than you. And other than that, I'm just happy you guys invited me. Thank you, Liam, for being here.
Yeah,
for
very nice to
looking
meet you.
so goddamn hot. Look at
Me too, thank you.
Socks all pulled up. And but,
I got my compression socks on, dude.
yeah, your ankles don't get all swollen when you're on the plane and shit because you're bi-coastal. I wonder if that's the only thing you're bi at.
It is.
It's just strong it is. Really want to underscore
I'll invite you
how...
over for an NFL party and we'll figure it out.
Actually, I'm never going to go to the East Coast ever again because I don't want anyone to even think I'm bi. So just not ever going to do. I guess I'll stay here for the rest of my life. Can you please plug what you got?
I hardly use my fucking Instagram because I think I've gotten to that stage where like my paintings, I'm happy that they're like rising in value, but they're not like Instagram price anymore. So sometimes I'm like, why even use Instagram if I'm not selling paintings? I'm trying to get into like galleries and shit like that.
You don't want to be driven severely mentally ill and
Fucking
depressed
hate
by
it. I
the internet?
fucking
Why
hate it.
not?
And if you follow me, you notice I turn it off all the fucking time.
Yeah.
The only one I use all the time is Let's Add More Black because I'm still, my day-to-day, I still pay the bills tattooing. So I do some real avant-garde shit. So if you're looking for a compass, you know, like I'm sure somebody else can help you. But if you want to, I have a tattoo I did of a, well, first of all, somebody came to me real quick and they were like, everything, carte blanche, whatever you want to do, anything. I go, okay, what about a clown holding a dead baby? They're like, absolutely not. Can I get a Popeye tattoo? I was like, yeah, okay, let's go. But,
That's really, really funny.
Yeah,
Carte blanche. That would be, so I'll just be like, I don't know, a dick on your head, you idiot. That's what I would do.
they were so instantly like, nah, I'm not going to do that. But so if you want some dark shit, yeah.
Okay.
And that's how I'm paying my bills right now.
Maybe you should get your first tattoo from Diego.
Maybe. If it's not a clown holding a dead baby, I could be interested.
I mean,
I could
you
do
could also do whatever you
eyeballs,
want.
like,
Yeah.
I
Well,
can do
I don't
some
have any
cool
ideas.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's try.
You should get a
But
Red Hot Chili
honestly-
Peppers asterisk
Dude,
tattoo.
honestly, like, I hate to say this, but Irish people, I don't know if because they just generations of being soaked in Jameson, it's the worst skin to tattoo, man.
Why?
Like, I don't know. They have
Too
some
porous.
It's like too.
It's not that porous.
It's actually like
soft.
they don't have pores. It's like they're very. It's not tight. They could be like a milk bag, all loosey goosey, but still like the ink. You push it and you just see it come back out. Sometimes I'm like fucking Irish people.
well,
not-
you have nice skin.
Thanks.
You know, we
You
can try.
do.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Look at his face. He has like most beautiful taut
I
skin, no
know.
pores. Okay, I'm giving you a compliment. You're looking at me like I'm being weird. I'm being really nice to you.
Sorry.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, we gotta go, but it's also pouring rain. So if
Yeah,
you've
that's
been
what,
hearing
that's what
that,
this noise
Hailing.
is hailing. So
Uh,
if you heard that, that's what this noise is, and we're sorry if it's disrupted your viewing or listening experience. But we thank you for tuning in.
It was a real pleasure.
Thank
I
you
guess
so much,
still
Lola.
follow Diego Garijo until I find a way to monetize it or do something positive, maybe fucking in the future. But Let's Add More Black or Diego Garijo.
All right. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so
Awesome.
much.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, and thanks. I love
feel
you
so
guys.
corny now. I'm like,
Yeah, you're like a
what the fuck am I doing?
politician.
Yeah.